So before I even get into the rest of the carburetor and get it running, I really want to fix this whole handlebar situation. It's really bugging me. So that includes the new grips, getting all these things nice and flush and level the way they're supposed to, and replacing this whole piece right here. Like I said, I've got a new one right here. Just gonna make it look nice and feel nice. This one apparently is discontinued. I can't get this one anymore without having this little, on this one here, it's got the choke bracket right there. On this one, it's mounted to the handlebars right here, so it's mounted on there. I don't think I'm going to use this. I might throw it on there, and then I don't want to cut it off just yet, let's say, but that might be coming off, or I might just leave it, and that actually might be a pretty good place for a switch, come to think about it. So let's go ahead and first take this shroud off. Well, to get the whole key switch out, I guess I got to take off the handlebars anyways, because it's got to feed outward to clear that. So take that off to get this one plug out right there, the big plug. There's a little notch and groove right there. Just like that, your key's done. Let's go ahead and install it back on the wheeler. Nice, now these are nice and lit up, colored up, and I got an emblem. This one didn't have the emblem right there. Boom, got it. Okay, so usually from the factory, when we first get these things and you assemble them, there's usually little dots on the handlebars that everything lines up to. If I don't know where they are on this one, I didn't really look for them. I'm just kind of going off by level, but just line that one up with the gap right there. Everything should be nice and flush. You want this, obviously, your thumb to be in a comfortable position and your handles break. I mean, you don't want to be reaching up, you don't want to be reaching down, so that's why just everything's nice and flush and level. Okay, so next up are the grips. These grips aren't good anymore. I'm just gonna go ahead and take them off. I usually just always cut them off and then I'll glue the new ones on. The little caps that go on the end of this, which for some reason both of these are broken off completely, those act as a vibration resistance. So they're not just there to keep the the grips on. They're actually supposedly a little vibration resistance. I run them with or without, doesn't really matter. And to glue them on, some people use hairspray, some people use glue. I've used silicone in the past, so I just kind of changed up almost every time. So I'm just going to use a little bit of silicone on this. If you don't put anything on there, when you do go deep or you do get in water will actually get up underneath here and start loosening these up to where they'll just slide off. So just put a little bit of silicone. These are already pretty tacky just from the factory stuff. I'm sure glue probably does work better, but I am also going to put the end caps back onto the end of this to help keep them on. So just throw a little bit in there to help slide them on. Just like that. Gonna give them a nice little twist and just start shoving them on. They're not gonna go fast. Get your lines right, nice and level. The little factory lines where they do the molding. Most people might not care about that, but, and also too, it's gonna be hard to stretch up on here, but don't leave a bunch of gap down here. Don't make these loose, because I mean you can start spinning those, so be sure they're on there all nice and smooth. Perfect. Now that's all done. Now the whole handlebar situation is
nice and tight and level, and it feels good. No front brakes, of course. Throttle's not hooked up, but yeah. Handlebars, faceplate, make it look a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up some of these lenses because they're all kind of sun faded, so make them kind of stand out a little bit better. So now that I got the carburetor out, I drained out the rest of the gas that was in there. There wasn't much. When I was at the that automotive repair shop, they topped it off with a little. They didn't even top it off. They put a little bit of gas in there to try to get it running, and this is the gas that they put in there. I don't know if you can tell how dark and nasty that looks, but that's not good. I mean, apparently, I would say that they probably took some gas out of an old car that was sitting there and was in a gas can. They dumped it in there. So appreciate that, guys. That's why I just don't like automotive repair shops. Don't trust. I don't trust anyone. I know this isn't a car, and they're not four-wheeler guys, but still, an engine's an engine. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and throw on this new carburetor just because I don't want to. I think the old one will clean up just fine, but I really just kind of want to get this thing going and running so I can see the final idea of everything here. So I'm going to go ahead and swap all that out. Of course, it comes with the new choke plunger. So this is one of the harder choke plungers to do because it is sucked up in there so much. Okay, so just got the carburetor on, got the throttle adjusted there, added fresh gas to it, new carburetor. I did go ahead and throw in the spark plug, new oil, new oil filter. Don't have the air box on, obviously. See how it runs real quick. Go ahead and do that. And prime it real quick. And alright, I mean, and like I said, this thing ran like this when I picked it up too. It didn't run this good, but everything sounded just good. So no smoke. No smoke, exhaust sounds good. The green tab broke off, so I got that gluing right now. Throw it back in there. I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I mean, this is the Rancher, guys. It's, like I said, this is why I bought it. It runs really good. So now that that's like that, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on the air box with the new air filter, and we'll be able to drive it around. The only other thing I did notice that when I was driving it was that it was pretty hard to shift. I don't know why, so I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the clutch. Like, it would go into gear just fine, but whenever it was revved up, it just did not want to shift. So I think they maybe adjusted the clutch way too much, or for some reason the clutch is too tight. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that up to factory spec, which is right there on that screw. You back out the back screw, and then you thread it all the way in until it bottoms out, and you back it out a quarter of a turn, and then tighten up that 14 millimeter. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So it's the next day, and I want to address this. It's kind of was hard to roll in it. I noticed that whenever I parked it in here and I was rolling around the shop that it was hard to roll. So I'm checking all the tires. This one over here still rotates pretty freely, but this one over here is pretty well locked up. I pulled the cap right there to see what was inside the brakes here, and it's pretty bad. I can't even do the adjuster, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the tire off and then take the hub off. So I don't think I'm gonna gut them just yet, but we'll see once we get in there. Hey, don't be touching that thing, please. Was Amy inside or right here? Okay, so I finally got the hub off here. These are all your adjustments, that one, and there's one more down here. You would just go in, that's what the little opening is. right there, that big opening, you can usually stick a screwdriver in there and then get your adjustment left or right to make these pads open and close more. They were just so far adjusted out, and there's really not that much crap in here, which is good. So I'm just gonna suck these both back down because I'm not gonna rely on these. They're not gonna last in the mud. I'm not gonna try to. So just kind of freeing them up, and if I really need to stop a pump, then we'll go check out the back brakes at some point. But everything now rolls and spins free and everything. So yeah, get ready to throw that back on and maybe go sing a little test drive. Rear diff fluid's looking pretty good. Just typical dirty, no water, no mud or anything like that. So swap that out.